Welcome into another episode of the Real Estate Minute Show. Excuse my lack of attire or lack of formal attire. Not a real formal dresser, but I'm a big Star Trek fan, as you can kind of see from some of this stuff around all over the place, and I'm also a Star Wars fan, so we got kind of a dueling franchise going on. I didn't do that on purpose either. It's very funny. But anyway, it's early in the morning, and I was just going out to exercise, but I thought I would talk to you first. There's people are in a rush, and because I'm 52 now, I can say the young folks out there are in a rush. They're in a rush to have a real estate empire. They're in a rush to buy a house and then buy the next big house, and then they got their eye on the next huge house. They really want to have a kind of a real estate empire, and they want it overnight. So this is a quick little show and a quick little reminder of what that's about and what that takes, okay? There's kind of two different camps here. There's one is that people that make a ton of money and spend it all on stuff and spend it all on their living expenses and tuitions for schools and all kinds of stuff, and they're left with very little at the end of the day. If not a little bit, they maybe can squeak some savings a little bit, maybe enough for a vacation, or maybe enough to buy a down payment on a new, bigger house or something like that. But they're constantly running the checks low. There's a second camp of thought. I want to build net worth. I don't want to worry when I'm 60, 70, 80, 110 about money, about cost and expenses. I don't want to worry about tuition for my kids' college. If you have healthcare needs, I don't want to worry about taking care of my parents if they need it, because I'm going to build net worth over time instead of spending all of my money. Two camps. There's the cash camp and the net worth camp. The net worth camp takes many, many, many years, lots of patience, and lots of foregoing of needs and wants. And so that's what this quick little reminder is about. If you want the net worth camp, you want a real estate empire, you want to own multiple income producing properties, etc., because that's what I do for a living, then you need to move your patience level from buying everything and spending all my money that I want over into the foregoing camp of not with tons of patience. So what do wealthy people do? Wealthy people, I would say, are those that have not just cash, that they make a lot of money, $1 million a year, and then it's almost all blown at the end of the year. Wealthy people build net worth, and the only way to build net worth is to acquire assets that appreciate and or produce income during the life of that asset. It could be anything from collectibles, it could be wine. I have a buddy that had a bottle of wine that was from 1862, from when Lincoln was alive. Who knows, it's probably vinegar by now, but it's like $100,000 bottle of wine. I wanted to cork that thing so bad for so many years, but my God, he would kill me. Or it could be anything. Again, art, like I may have mentioned, but also real estate, property, assets. That's a huge chunk, if not the number one net worth wealth building vehicle. And in order to buy a asset, it can start with your home. And that's in a lot of cases what it does. You buy your first home, you stay there for years, it appreciates, you refinance it, you pull some money out, you buy another home, or you buy an investment property with that, and then that appreciates over time. You could refi that and then buy another one on top of that, or sell it and do exchanges, all kinds of vehicles, but it starts with the first property. And a lot of times that's somebody's home when they're younger. If you're not willing to forego the Teslas and the big cars and all of these fancy drinks and things like that you do, the non-necessities, all the wants, the ego stuff, and I don't mean ego in a rude way, I mean it in the kind of psychological way, where it's satisfying some sort of need inside you. If you find a way to get rid of that need and only buy and use the money for things that you actually need to survive, and you forego a lot of other things that you're spending money on, that's wealth building mentality. Then you use that money, you save it over 2, 3, 4, 5 years, and you buy a duplex with it. You buy another house, a condo, and you lease it out. Okay, and you're building your empire. Wealth building takes years, decades. It takes a long time. If you're 28 years old, wealth building, I'm talking Look out to when you're 78 years old. That time period of that 50 years is where you're going to build your wealth. And I'm not saying don't go out and have fun, don't go to Disneyland, don't go on some vacations and enjoy life. Of course, enjoy life. It's here to enjoy and absorb, right? I'm just saying you need to key it back really far if you want to have that kind of wealth later on. You're not going to get it by magic. It's not just going to happen because you're making $500,000 a year right now and you've saved 100 grand so far. That's not how you're going to build your wealth. You will build it with assets that appreciate and that are or income producing over time. So which camp do you fall in? One's not better than the other. It just depends on where you want to be when you're 108. Do you want to have spent all this money and had a great time and everything, and you've had everything you want needed, but you're on county assistance at 108 years old? Or do you want to have most of what you needed, everyone's happy, you weren't, I don't want to say gluttonous, but you had this mentality of, I don't need all that stuff, but I enjoyed my life tremendously the whole way through, and now I could do and buy whatever the hell I want at 108. Okay? I want the second part. That's how I've structured my life. Some of my best friends are in Camp A, and that's fantastic for them too. But you need to decide where you are, and if the younger you are, the better, because the patience level that's necessary for this is enormous. And if you can establish that patience level now in your 20s, just think of how patient you'll be when you're 50, when you're 75. I mean, you have just an amazing lineup of assets in an empire. It's empire building, baby, and that's what you want to do. So anyway, I thought I'd pop on and let you know about those two kind of camps of thoughts and which one you are. Take care. We'll see you next week on the Real Estate Minute Show. Thanks for tuning in today.